Oh, great. Never did that. There we go. We're sorted. Somehow. Well, that happened.
Well, the thing about it is, with one notable exception that, yeah, for all intents and purposes, probably shouldn't have happened. Someone will be able to tell us in a minute if it should have or not, or at least partially. We'll get there. Everything that happened, for the most part, is something that was predicted here before by one of us, by someone in chat, things we had pushed through this entire time since August, things we let go way back when. There wasn't many surprises. If you're a GP watching this, like, I don't know what half of these movies are, type of viewer, then you're probably really confused and wondering why and what this stuff is and why it got nominated. But if you've been following along, all this stuff had narrative. All this stuff was listed at one point. All of this stuff had buzz. And some of it we just forgot about because we got wrapped up in other things, other hype about other movies and other performances. So that's why if you watch AJ's video, Ashley's live stream, or in 12 years when my video actually gets uploaded, you, I'll shoot, it shouldn't be too much longer. You will see a little bit of frustration, a little bit of jubilation, a little bit of, okay, it happened. And that's what it's come to. And AJ and I had this conversation earlier today in between my walks to KFC. And we're doing this, and you want to see that big reaction. You want that crash moment. You want that moment that you're not expecting, or maybe you were the only one that was expecting it. The three of us don't really have those moments right now. They're kind of fleeting, especially when you know somewhat what's going on and what's going to happen, whether you like it or not. Some things might slip in, but it shouldn't be a surprise, especially with precursors and things that happen beforehand. Some things might get snubbed, but we always knew it could possibly happen. Sometimes we're happy about it, sometimes we're not. I got a lot to say today, and obviously you can tell by the tone of my voice that I'm not in the greatest of moods. So I'm going to do my best to be as professional as possible, noting that the movie that did the absolute best today is my least favorite movie right now. And the fact that it did so well, and I know the certainty that it's going to do even better the rest of the season, does not help one bit. But those little individual victories, the Batman nominations, and nominations for Elvis, and how well Banshees did, and the Fablemans, Michelle Williams not missing like everybody was trying to put in our head it was going to happen. Small victories make days like today a little bit brighter. Now, granted, it might be a little tiny speck of light, but a little bit brighter. Yeah, that's your cold open, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Owen. A little bit disheveled to say the least, but we carry on. Joining us as always, we have Ashley.
Indeed.
And we have AJ.
That conversation you were talking about basically started with me being concerned
Right.
because I didn't know how your guys' videos went, and obviously I really watch other ones.
No one knows what. It's okay.
I was trying to figure out was this just not an exciting reveal, or am I just dead inside now in general? Because there were things here that like that, and that's the thing too, is I was happy with the lineup or just that my predictions were right.
Right.
I my favorite thing is to be like, usually on nominations morning, my predictions are like an afterthought.
Sure.
And my excitement all comes from whatever is getting in or whatever's missing.
Yeah, of course.
And I feel like that I even remembered what my predictions were, made me feel like there was just something underwhelming about this announcement. Because even Riceboro should be getting the biggest reactions, and the only thing I could think was just like, that weird campaign I only just heard about 2 days ago from this very chat is what caused it.
Crazy to think, isn't it?
If I hadn't heard anything about that like 2 days ago, I probably would have had a much bigger reaction to Riceboro. But now that it was already in my head, like, oh, that's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Those Bennett Miller, Tom Hardy reactions, I feel like, are a thing of the past.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the reason why I opened the video the way that I did. I opened this show the way that I did because of the fact that there's nothing.
Well,
surprising
I'm also kind of depressed because it's always interesting to see what the big curveball is going to be about which movie overperforms.
Right.
And I have a severe vomit phobia, and the movie that overperformed was Triangle of Sadness.
Uh-huh.
I actually feel almost depressed by that by itself. It's probably just, like Colin Farrell's line in Banshees about, we just push our depression down like everybody does. And it's like, I feel like I was already there, and then like Triangle of, like, the idea of the thing that really, by the way, before anybody says anything, I'm not like single-handedly saying Triangle of Sadness getting in makes me depressed. But it's, but the fact that there's a certain joy that comes with this season about the movies that you really fall in love with and seeing how they do, and then the ones that surprise you and being really excited to seek them out. And it's like, when you're just literally too afraid of a movie, it kind of sucks a little bit of the joy out of it. And I genuinely cannot stand Hollywood's obsession with people vomiting right now. 4 of the picture nominees have vomit scenes, as well as other movies like The Whale and Babylon. It's just constant. And I just was recently warned that apparently Missing has one too. So 2023 is just bringing it right in already. So
Good Lord.
I don't know. I feel like movies are turning on me. But yeah. Not to mention that the said scene is being praised as supposedly the best scene in Triangle of Sadness. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. Movies are preferential, but if you think that's the best scene in the movie, you can take a short walk off a long pier. Because normally long walk off a short pier, but in this case, I want you to feel that pain. You deserve to go right into the lava.
I remember when 10-minute long vomit scenes were held off for like spoof movies.
Yeah.
And now they get nominations for Best Picture and Best Director. Now, mind you, I'm not jumping to any conclusion. I don't want this to sound like I'm jumping to any conclusions about Triangle of Sadness's quality based on this one scene, given that the movie is like 2.5 hours. But yeah, if you know where I'm coming from, or if you even have this, you know what I mean.
It's weird because from what I can tell, because it still hasn't become available to stream over here, I didn't catch the preview screenings when they did do it at my local. I think like anything to do with vomiting, at least in terms of boat stuff, is maybe the first quarter of the film.
Yeah, I was trying to. Here's the thing. Somebody, I love that this is the first conversation we're having, by the way.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I do want to make mention that the stream seems to be buffering.
Oh, great.
Fix that so we can move forward, because this conversation is getting interesting.
Does that mean we're stuck too, or just the chat?
It looks like
people
we're
can't
stuck.
see-
I've refreshed like 4 times, and we're stuck in that pit. There's pictures.
I'm just trying to work out how I can.
Having all kinds of technical glitches tonight. That's the reason why we got started late.
Let me check on settings if I can. Hopefully you got. Or is that not?
I don't know whose decision. I'm going to say this again. From the bottom of my heart, whatever's left of it. At the end of the day, whoever killed Google Hangouts needs to be shot out of a cannon into a brick wall. Rapid fire capital punishment for your sins, good sir or madam, because you have done what has made streaming on YouTube next to impossible.
I like the fact it says that the bit rate is. Oh. Once you do it a stream bit rate of 2500? Okay.
And don't worry, everyone in chat, we do have everybody's messages saved just in case something happens for whatever reason.
Let's up it a bit. See if it will let me.
Screen is frozen. Stream is buffering, screen is frozen.
I've upped the bit rate a bit. And frames are dropping. But not that many.
Everyone should realize by now this is not a visual podcast. It never has been. Never will be. Sure, it's fun to watch us laugh and like make little references and things like that. But at the end of the day, we could be talking heads at this point. It doesn't matter. We're still getting our point across.
Heads, shout out to David Byrne getting nominated today.
Good Lord. Nice. So if you're sticking with us right now, chat, thank you very much for that. We're just having so many problems at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say I would just keep going if they can still hear us, but that's.
Can we verify? Can we verify, Josie, Spencer? Can we verify?
Can we still be heard?
Can we be heard? I could care less if we can be seen, or can we still be heard? I know what the partial problem is, and I feel like once my video finally uploads, that might help.
I'll quickly get through the 6 comments just in case they disappear.
Please do, because it's the only thing I don't have access to.
When I refresh YouTube. So happy for everything everywhere all at once. Tar, Banshees, Fablemans, and Triangle of Sadness, says Josie. I told you all that Macquarie was going to get acknowledged as a screenwriter again by the Academy. Happy for the Stephanie Sue inclusion, but very upset there's no Dolly DeLeon. Everything Everywhere, Banshees and Tar all got directing, writing, acting, and editing nods. I wish Pinocchio got in for adapted screenplay and production design. And then in a question, could Top Gun Maverick win adapted screenplay, or is your money still on Women Talking?
It's on Women Talking.
It should win adapted screenplay, but Women Talking will win.
I was really sold on Glass Onion coming to the front, and then this changed everything. It's funny. there's only one nomination that changed this, and that's Women Talking's picture nomination, because Glass Onion blanked otherwise, and Women Talking's only other nomination was picture.
From out of nowhere.
But obviously, that's a big difference.
If you were looking at the race back in August and September, it underperformed. If you're looking at the race in December and January, it did exactly what people thought it would do. The pictures have changed a bit.
Mm-hmm. See how that goes.
Is that all you have, Ashley?
Yeah, that's where we go into what you already have. So
cool. Thank you, live chat, for bringing us live chat even before the show started. We appreciate that. Thank you, Josie. Thank you, Spencer Reed. And AJ informed me last night about a pretty jam-up guy that showed up during the Popcast Movie Club named Jimmy Blaze. Welcome back. Josie says, I rewatched Hayao Miyazaki. God, take a shot. Porco Rosso today. It was great. I'm planning on pairing that with Top Gun Maverick. As you know, Josie does her annual Best Picture pairings every single year. With Belfast and Hope and Glory, Coda and A Silent Voice, Don't Look Up with Stargate, Dune with Stargate, Licorice Pizza with Rock and Roll High School, Power of the Dog with Man Without a Star, and Drive My Car with Paris, Texas. Cool. Nomad Land with Cave of the Yellow Dog and Story of the Weeping Camel, Father with Bubba Hotep, because they're both nursing home horror movies. Minari with Our Vines Have Tender Grapes from 45. Sound of Metal with Here and Now, a documentary from 2007. Mank with Hearts of the West from 1975. Josie's thought process, Banshees with Penn and Teller Get Killed. But I could easily go... Josie, just for me specifically, I want this double feature to exist in your life. You get to watch All Quiet, but perhaps I'll pair that with Who Killed Captain Alex. A bit inappropriate, but I hope/bet Martin McDonagh and Phoebe Waller-Bridge make Sweet Sweet Love tonight.
Wow.
Dang, that's... you get my Frankenstein for that one. I guess. I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing. Their pillow talk must be killer dialogue.
Oh. But I'm fucking...
Do they both break the fourth wall at various points as well?
Good God. Certainly won't be at the local Holiday Inn. Josie says also For Everything, Everywhere, whatever. Possible Worlds 2000, a sci-fi movie from Canada with Tilda Swinton. Can't stress this enough. Have to reiterate, I want Carrie Condon to win. We all do, Josie. We all do. And we're all part of the committee to try to make that happen. However, none of us vote. So we just have to sit back and watch performance. I can't say anything about Bassett because I'm not going to watch this movie. I refuse. There's no reason for me to watch it because it didn't make pictures. So needless to say, at the end of the day, I don't have to watch that movie. So I will never know how good or bad Bassett is. So I'm not going to make any comments. But I will say right now, I'd much rather see Carrie Condon win. Spencer Reed. Go ahead, AJ.
Bassett's two big scenes have probably already been clipped and are already on YouTube. That'll give you the whole idea.
That's more Marvel than I'm planning to watch. Spencer Reed, To Leslie, Andrea the Queen. Segue, AJ. In between our long distant conversation, literally long distant, CET, depending on how you look at it, conversation. You also attempted to watch Andrea Riseborough's performance. What can you tell us?
I'm about halfway through.
5 comments.
But now it says excellent condition. I don't know what that even means.
If I look at this screen right now, we might be able to find the culprit.
Well, no, it's allegedly my internet, but my internet's fast, and everything else that's running shouldn't be.
Why in the hell is the damn video not uploaded yet?
I mean, it says encoding overload, but hopefully that's better. No, still says CPU usage 100. This is annoying.
Tell me about it. This is an important show.
Yeah.
You don't have time for your internet to fuck up.
It's not my internet. I think it's just being very fucking memory intensive.
Hold on. I'll respond. Stand by. Is there too many streams going on YouTube because the site's not crashing? Screw it.
Delete that.
Upload. Why is this damn video taking so long? Luckily, chat's sticking up. Thank you again for sticking it out with us.
Let me quickly.
While this is getting sorted out, I will be back.
Sure.
Well, we're streaming, but I'm trying to like fix the issue. Let me switch to Donkey. Restart the call, or leave the call and restart Discord maybe. Bear with me, guys. If it's still buffering now, I have no clue, because there's like all you've got is a donkey with his headphones. Let's restart Discord. No, even the even with Discord not running, the CPU's going crazy. Huh.
Okay, we should be fine. I wish there was a way we could edit the show so we can get rid of this. People should still be hearing us right now, Ashley.
Yeah.
People can hear us right now.
Yeah.
People can hear us right now, but we don't have visual.
So it's like when we started with Google Hangouts, essentially.
Yeah.
YouTube is not receiving enough video. I don't think it's my upload or download speed. I'll quickly check that, but we'll keep talking because that seems to be. It might just be whether I actually need to check something with this computer, see whether it's conked out or something. Because it seems
You
to
want
be
me to?
very memory intensive on the OBS streaming side. But yeah, go through any more comments in chat if we've got any.
Yeah, Josie says, Spencer, it's funny you bring up Logan with Top Gun's adapted screenplay nod, like it's Logan's adapted screenplay nod. Brian's butthurt he has to watch Blonde for his marathon.
Have fun.
Yeah, I don't plan on watching that either. Welcome, Jimmy Blaze. Just found out today Jenny Slate lives in his town.
Holy shit.
Married to a guy who owns the local general store. And he once saw her out front talking to someone, thought she looked familiar, but didn't make the connection. Cool. Josie mentioned several times Penn and Teller would be great hosts for the Oscars. Oh my God, yes. Sign me up now. I'd find a way to be there front row for that. I don't know how. There's got to be a way. We started GoFundMe so I could go to the Oscars and see Penn and Teller host. Another host duo, Bruce Campbell and Ted Raimi. And you brought this up before, actually, a couple times. Andrea Riseborough's celebrity crush when she was a child, Peter Sellers.
Interesting.
And she wants to see Andrea and Colin Farrell in a rom-com together. So I don't have visual, but we do have audio. So we're going to stick with that. And since we are 10 years on Popcast Network in May, might as well go old school with not being able to see us. I'm down with that.
I mean, I'm just like, even it's saying to me, "Oh, you need to stream at 2500," but then my stream output like jumps from 1700 to 400 to 1300 to 600. It's like inconsistent. So there's no point in going. Anything.
Brian says it's doing the spin more often.
Yeah. I'll try and try and work out something to do with it. The problem is the OBS I can't update because I'm still on Windows 7. It's like, no. And I can't even upgrade it to Windows 10 because it wouldn't run, which means buying a new computer with money that I don't have right now. So.
Yeah, I just got a brand new computer months ago, and I can't. It's obsolete already. It doesn't even run Windows 10. It can't. It doesn't have the specs for it. I mean, I could stream on my MacBook, but I mean, I'm not doing that. Yeah, that's chat. So do we want to go into what happened earlier today?
Might as well. Because, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, say the least. My video's still not up. Chat, feel free to chime in. At least so we know that you can hear us. Because I can't tell for live, I can't tell for streaming. I don't know what's going on at this point. This is one big cluster right now. So yeah, this morning rather interesting. I don't know about you guys, but sleep was kind of hard last night for the normal reason, the death cough, but also the fact that I kept waking up and I'd be like, "Is it time? Is it time?" And it's weird because I went to the ABC News feed and I woke up and I heard news. I was like, I don't like this. So I went to the Oscars feed, which of course was the screen, and you had Riz Ahmed on one side and Andrew Williams on the other side. And they were just chilling there. And I'm like, okay, this is the stream I'm going to use because this is the one that's going to go completely live. I have to listen to any Good Morning America stuff or any ABC News stuff. It's going to go directly there. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. And I got the order, I'm pretty sure. They did 9 and then they paused and they did 14. Ashley had the benefit of being able to utilize streaming. So, of course, his automatically went up because he was streaming. So, he had the advantage. AJ had an advantage, of course, because the way he films his videos, he basically got his stuff done, edited it together, gave me a timestamp, and off to the races. I film using the iPhone, of course, as you know. So because of that, it's taken all day long to get this video up, and it's still not up yet. And most people that were watching these videos of reactions probably stopped like 5-6 hours ago. So I guess at this point, the only reason my video is going up is because completion's sake. I don't know if anyone's going to watch it. I guess I'll see tomorrow when I look at the numbers. But basically what happened was all of us did reaction videos. And like I mentioned at the beginning of the show today, I didn't watch anybody's. I'm not going to watch anybody's. But I will say that AJ pretty much put the stamp saying that this was kind of a blah morning. If you are not in the know, if you haven't been following along, if you have no ideas about anything and don't know about what did well beforehand, before we got to televised award shows, this day probably blew your mind. For those of us that have been following along, I mean, most of this stuff was obvious. Some of us went with it. Some of us didn't. So.
I was waiting for something crazy like a Lakeith Stanfield situation where somebody switched categories.
There was a narrative that looked like, oh, I guess that's the word of the night. That's the There was a narrative going around that Michelle Williams might switch at the last minute. But that didn't happen either.
I still say Paul Mescal easily could have too.
Sure. So Ashley, you have your predictions and AJ's predictions in front of you, correct?
Mm-hmm. All golded out and added up.
So I can do mine, you have yours, and AJ has his. I don't have the list of that because that was a lot to write down, so I didn't. Best Supporting Actor went first. Um, so the lineup was Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway. AJ called that one. And Judd Hirsch for The Fablemans. Another AJ call from back in the day. When in doubt, go with the veteran actor. Barry Keoghan also for Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Kwan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I went with Paul Dano and Brad Pitt. Dano looked like it was slipping further and further away as we move closer and closer to this day. And Brad Pitt was a swing and a miss. It was I guess we could go back to your old stomping ground and say no guts, no glory.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead. Sorry.
When we have a veteran and a younger actor going in for the same movie, I think I'm gonna forever stick to this Belfast thing until it's proven otherwise.
Well, it's another Irish movie too, so that's another thing that's in the same favor as well. So yeah, the double for Banshees, and I ended up with 3 out of 5. AJ, what was your setup? You had 5 out of 5.
Yes, I did.
Ashley, what did you have?
I missed with Pitt and Wishaw. I had the Banshees duo and Everything Everywhere.
Okay.
I think the trivia, the big trivia from that is Hirsch now sets the record for longest time between nominations.
Yep.
For 42 years, beating
Crazy,
Fonda's record by 1 year, and he's I think also the second oldest nominee ever behind Plummer.
I mean, it's a certainty Kwan's going to win, but I mean, it's great that Hirsch got in here.
Also, fourth consecutive year a film has been double nominated in supporting actor, which ties the record for longest streak of double nominations in the same category, which happened twice in supporting actress over the 20th to 23rd Oscars and the 81st to 84th, so about 10 years ago.
I think probably the best bet moving forward is if you see a movie that's doing well enough that acting is looking towards 2 nominations for it, might not be a bad idea to go that route. Seems like the Oscars loves to double nominate things, whether right or not. Speaking of that, Best Supporting Actress. We have Angela Bassett for Wakanda Forever. We have Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Everywhere All at Once, and yes, Stephanie Hsu for Everything Everywhere All at Once. The only thing I'll say right now, other than the fact that I lost my No Guts, No Glory of Janelle Monáe, the first member of the SpongeBob the Musical soundtrack that actually has an Oscar nomination. And that's all I'm going to hang that on.
What? This was the SAG lineup, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
It seemed like we were headed towards there being at least one SAG category matching. I just would have put money on it being lead actress.
Yeah. I mean, I ended up with 4 out of 5. Obviously, I went with the swing and a miss with Janelle Monáe. AJ, you had 4 out of 5 as well?
Yeah, I had Monet instead of Chow.
Okay. And Ashley, what did you end up having?
Bassett, Condon, and Curtis I missed on Buckley as well as Monet.
Okay.
Because I was under the impression that it would get in somewhere.
Notable misses here. Obviously, one of the ones that I would want would be Carey Mulligan. No love for She Said whatsoever. Even though BAFTA kind of gave me a little bit of hope. AJ was kind of like nudging me, like, "Come on, Carey might get in." I was like, "I don't know, maybe not." I really love this movie. I hate. They're probably going to nominate it again. And they did. And I hate Triangle of Sadness, but Dolly De Leon missing after everything that happens after this is shocking.
Aren't you, after this whole season, aren't you just glad this category has finally been answered?
Yeah.
Like, we know who they are now, and that's a relief in itself.
We definitely know who they are. Best animated feature, like I said, once again, always missing one. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Pinocchio, Puss in Boots, which continues its juggernaut push of being one of the most top grossing movies of the year, which I still don't understand, but apparently it's got a lot of layers to it. The Sea Beast, which is a Netflix animated movie, of course, took away my hopeful spot for the bad guys. And of course, Turning Red, which back in the long, long ago, in the way before time, before Pinocchio was a thing, it looked like it was going to be the one to stop. And that didn't happen either. But Minions didn't get in, so that's good.
I was just getting ready to say something and then I lost it.
You lost.
It was about Puss in Boots' success.
Go ahead.
It is kind of funny how animated movies, especially that are within a franchise already and are centered on a very, very, very popular character, are gonna do massive business just anyway.
Sure.
Because of families and kids and all that stuff. But I feel like Puss in Boots has this push where it has that going for it already, where movies like it do this well already anyway. But for like older audiences, word of mouth really got a hold of it, I think.
It continues to do that too.
So it's like it's been able to hit like every facet through different means of marketing.
Tell me about it. Jimmy Blaze chimes in. Elvis is the one that really disappointed me. I'm not surprised why it got all the nominations. I just hated the movie. Yeah, it's one of those you either like it or you don't, Jimmy, honestly. I've learned that from people and talking to people about the movie.
What's really been sticking in my craw is that cinematography nomination, especially with a certain something getting shockingly ousted from that category.
So, obviously that means that I missed one. I have 4 out of 5. AJ, what was your animated?
I said I went with another Netflix, and I said My Father's Dragon instead of The Sea Beast.
Hey, you still have a Sea Beast. Just technically speaking, I give you half a point. My Father's Dragon could be the Loch Ness Monster. You never know.
It's that kid from Stranger Things. It's basically like this. It feels like the same setup as Raya, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Very, very similar, at least.
And Ashley, what was your switch in Best Animated?
Let me find it. Fuck. Yeah, I also have Bad Guys. I misconstrued Netflix.
I do not want to die on that hill alone. I'm glad you didn't let me. Thank you, Ashley. Speaking of, we'll go into shorts now. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, The Flying Sailor, Ice Merchants, My Year of Dicks. Great reaction, by the way, for when this got name dropped during this morning's nomination ceremony. And then it rolled right into the one that we didn't predict. An ostrich told me the world was fake, and I think I believe it.
I wish we could have seen Riz Ahmed's expression, because I feel like that must have had something to do with the crowd reaction. But since we were only seeing the nominees, we couldn't actually see.
Oh, real quick, Jimmy continues the Elvis hatred. Elvis is like a case study in everything I wouldn't do if I made a movie. I've never been a Lerman fan, and this reinforced it. There's your problem, Jimmy. This is pure Baz Luhrmann, 100%. Tom Hanks is god awful in it. He's just playing Danhausen. What an embarrassment. So was Colonel Tom. Shoot. So there, it fit. Jimmy says Judd Hirsch is this year's William Hurt from A History of Violence, or Beatrice straight from the network. The actor who has one scene and kills it. Well, yeah. Judd Hirsch. And he's effing harsh. I know it's Nelson, but I like the rest. You were looking at me like you misquoted Kevin Smith. No, I did it the way I wanted to do it. Yo, Taxi, let's go. So yeah, I had Black Slide because it sounded cool. At the end of the day, honestly, don't go against the long title. I made the Fiona Apple Tori Amos comparison last time of the longest title usually gets something. Funny little line too, so I should have went with it. So I had 4 out of 5. AJ, what did you miss out on?
I know I had the 2 long titles, and I had Ice Merchants. I didn't have the Flying Sailor or
You didn't go with My Year of Dicks.
No, I didn't.
Because you didn't think, I remember you said the other night that you didn't think that they would go with something with such a risque title.
Yeah, I said I didn't foresee the moment that actually happened where there would just be an awkward silence and laughter. No, I said the Coleman Domingo one, New Moon, and Steakhouse.
Ashley, what did you say in place of animated short?
New Moon and Say Ralph were my ones that missed. I had.
So what did you not go with?
Ice Merchants and the Ostrich one.
That's fair. Jimmy, I'm a big Baz Luhrmann mark, and I really enjoyed Elvis. But to each their own. I'm not going to chide you for your opinion. I really do appreciate you throwing out some great commentary in chat tonight. And apparently you did so last night too.
I do think Luhrmann's a great choice for an Elvis biopic on paper. When you think about the idea of putting the audience in the perspective of the hectic nature, and that's putting it mildly, of his life and like just being at one of his shows. But I also feel like it's almost like the juxtaposition of his style with the subject in particular has been working in his favor, rather than almost being like, oh, this suits this because they have similar energy. Like, putting that kind of energy with Shakespeare would have seemed way off. And Romeo and Juliet is awesome.
Yes, it is.
And then a period romance movie with Moulin Rouge. You would think wouldn't. I mean, even though the Moulin Rouge is supposed to be this really, hectic and wild place, still, Luhrmann's style with a period romance, you would think a musical, okay, sure, but it's at the bare bones of it, it's like those things would never go together, and I feel like that's where he really shines, with something to where it's like it basically says same thing with Gatsby, where it's like when he gets material that tells him go crazy, it's too much.
So here's my thought process, and I've never brought this up before. I've not brought it up to you. We've not had this conversation off camera, and I've never said this out loud before. Right now, something that just came into my mind. Flip the script. Give Damien Chazelle Elvis, and give Baz Luhrmann Babylon.
It almost seems like that's what it was supposed to be.
That feels like it would have fit much better.
But would it have fit too much and been boring and obvious?
Not necessarily.
Because Luhrmann's Babylon would have been pretty close to his Gatsby, probably.
A more excessive Gatsby, yeah, I could see that being the case.
Yeah. just with more nudity and on-screen drugs. And Chazelle's Elvis.
I think it would have worked really well.
Yeah, that's another thing though, where it's like I can see it. Like it seems like it works in my head, but it's like it's almost too obvious that all I'm seeing in my head is pretty generic looking.
I feel that a Damien Chazelle-led Elvis would be something that would be pretty spectacular.
Well, the funny thing also is that when I would imagine a Damien Chazelle Elvis movie, if Lerman's movie didn't exist, I would think, whoa, that would probably be pretty wild and really frenetic. But now, having seen Lerman's version of Elvis, I can't imagine it being more frenetic than that. Like
No,
Chazelle's version of
not.
Elvis compared to Lerman's would be so low key, just by comparison.
Same with Lerman's version of Babylon.
Yeah.
But we'll never know. It's just
Okay.
something just came to my mind. I wanted to bring it up to chat and everybody, for the ones that can actually hear us right now, if anyone can. We're basically talking to ourselves at this point. Kenneth Lee chimes in. First time since '91. 2 acting categories, double acting nominees. Gleason and Keoghan and Banshees, and Curtis and Chu for, no, we know. 91 was Sarandon and Davis, and Keitel and Kingsley.
Right.
Wow, cool. We press on. Speaking of a category, it's interesting. Best costume design. The actual lineup: Babylon, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and Wakanda Forever. The second I saw a costume nomination for Everything Everywhere All at Once, I knew I was in trouble. Because if they're going to give it costumes of all things, to me, something that I just don't get, over something like a glass onion. Because that's what I had in its place. I was like, okay, you really, really, really want to give this thing all the awards you can.
I'm gonna tell you something you don't want to hear.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of Stephanie Shu's costumes and Everything Everywhere All at Once are gonna go down as iconic.
Why?
And not even just the big ones, like her pink golf outfit is so identifiable at this point. That's just gonna be the way it is.
She's just dressed like Kate McKinnon in an SNL skit. Why does this? I don't get it. I don't get it, and I'm not going to. I'm happy Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris is in here. It's nominated. Yeah. That's all that matters in life. Like I said, it says little victories. That's a little victory, ladies and gentlemen. The crushing defeat is the Woman King not getting in here.
I'd almost go as far as to say that that's shocking.
That's extremely shocking. Which I went 3 out of 5. AJ, what'd you have for costumes?
I think the only one I missed was I had Woman King instead of Everything Everywhere All at Once.
And Ashley, what was your costume?
I had Babylon, Black Panther, and Elvis, but my other picks were Living and Woman King. So
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about Woman King later. Don't worry. I have words to think about this. Live action short film. The actual lineup: An Irish Goodbye, Eva Lou, Les Pupilles, Night Ride, and The Red Suitcase. Missing out for me, I had Almost Home in the Right Words in the spot of Eva Lou and Night Ride. With live action short, I didn't read anything. I just went by names. This is all stuff I'm going to have to watch in a really nice, warm theater with food way, way across town later in the next couple months. So no matter what, I still have to deal with these. So I went 3 out of 5. AJ?
I did not do well, and one of the things I messed up on, I realized when I saw the pupils. It's the one that's on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize until I was watching it that Quaron's name is attached to it, and I believe he's one of the official nominees for it as well.
That would make sense.
So I only had An Irish Goodbye and Night Ride.
Ashley. Oh, sorry. Yeah, my apologies.
I was gonna say the other ones I had were Almost Home, The Right Words, and Warsha.
Ashley, what you got?
I had Irish Goodbye, Avalo, and Red Suitcase, but missed on Nakam and Warsha.
Okay. Kenneth Lee chimes in the chat, says DeLeon instead of Sue. No. Which, given Triangle's performance, is somewhat surprising. Seriously, if they love the movie that much, I'm honestly surprised Dolly DeLeon's not in here.
I was telling you, after the Triangle of Sadness, what happened with Triangle of Sadness,
Yeah.
it's still weird to me it did not get a SAG Ensemble nomination.
Same.
That's where I thought it was going to kind of show itself and make itself known, and it decided to come in stealthily instead.
Nothing about that movie is stealth. Josie says, first time in a while an animated feature didn't show up in another category. Yeah. Again, that nominate the Glory movie. So Chow Papa didn't get in. So AJ was right still.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is the thing that's really annoying about that is that usually it's just like a score or song where an animated movie would show up. There were plenty of options for Pinocchio to have more than one showing.
God, yes, of course.
That's really that's I don't like it.
I understand what you mean with that one. All right.
I just realized something that's going to be hilarious to me.
Go ahead.
If we pretty much can't be heard right now, we basically talked about all of this on the phone earlier today, and we were like, "Oh, man, we're talking about everything. We're gonna have nothing to say in the video." There's a big possibility we're having this conversation again, still not live.
Fantastic
I mean,
to think,
the
isn't it?
The way everybody's talking about animated, I'm thinking that's where they are at now. Whereas we've just finished talking about short film.
No, I can confirm people are leaving messages in chat, so there still says 5 people watching.
I think they're hearing stuff from, not in time. So I'm trying to work out when I have to end the stream to know when people are sort of caught up. I'm gonna quickly check on. I'm gonna quickly check on my tablet. I'm gonna walk away so I don't get the sound because, are we talking about documentary short next?
No.
Oh.
We're going to makeup and hair.
Right. I just wanted an excuse to walk away because I got nothing in that category.
I'm doing the order from this morning.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. Makeup and hair. Every year I wonder why this isn't 2 separate categories. Because sometimes it's heavy on makeup and sometimes it's heavy on hairstyling. Some movies have both. Have at it. The lineup this time around for makeup and hair: All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Elvis, The Whale, and Wakanda Forever. I went with Amsterdam because reasons, and Babylon. So I got 3 out of 5. I don't have Ashley, so I guess we'll just have to whatever. So, AJ, what did you have for makeup and hair?
I'm pretty sure I had 4 out of 5. I only, instead of All Quiet on Western Front, I said Crimes of the Future, which I still really wish would have happened.
I'm glad it didn't.
That would have been really inspired.
No. Yeah, inspiring me to walk out of the theater.
I actually dug. I only just saw Crimes of the Future recently, and I actually did really dig it. Actually,
I don't know. I guess this isn't my type of genre at all.
I don't like that look on Ashley's face. I feel like we're about to hear something we don't want to hear.
Yeah, the live stream is talking about animated feature. So
No, they're not.
no,
Josie just made a comment, and we're talking about cinematography, and so it's like they're just
well,
leaving comments. They're not really talking about anything specific.
I
So it's,
just looked on the tablet, and on the tablet we're still talking about animated feature.
So how audible are we?
there was no
We
comment.
can be heard. We're still talking.
Okay, so we sound normal. We're just really behind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I don't see how we're behind because the only comment that I'm seeing is Josie's comment about an animated feature not showing up in another category. I don't see much them talking at all about animated feature in chat. And I've read every single chat message that's came through.
Yeah, because not many people are talking because the technical issues. That's the problem.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Chip
okay.
Blake says Banshees deserve cinematography, no doubt.
Yes.
100% agreed. Kenneth Lee says BAFTA ASC combo plus the overall support for Elvis made me predict it to get nominated. Fair. Josie says Top Gun Maverick did miss the BSC, which is the British version of the ASC, and they tend to be predictive with their lineups.
I don't know. I'm still pissed, and I think I'm gonna be for a while.
Yeah, same.
Like I said, that would have. I had already like come to terms with the fact that Kaczynski would miss. DGA got me a little hype, but then I remembered, oh yeah, DGA never matches, and I was really convinced of the burger thing for like 2 months.
Sure.
And it was like, but that's okay. The cinematography will help me. I mean, the adapted screenplay one helps a lot.
Oh yeah.
But even though I've already seen people bitching about it, but the only problem with Top Gun getting into screenplay is that Aaron Kruger's an Oscar nominee now, which is really weird. But apart from that, yeah, it's gonna take me a little bit to get over this one.
So we move on to music. So score. The actual lineup: All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. I went with Pinocchio. Again, just like AJ has mentioned numerous times, I don't remember the score or the insert thing here from insert movie here. And everyone knows how much I hate that movie, but I don't remember the score for Everything Everywhere All at Once at all.
I remember.
Why is it here? Other than just to give it another nomination.
That's the thing. I'm terrible with the music categories because I think my mind just isn't musically inclined.
Yeah,
to where it's like when like we were talking about the Hurwitz score for Babylon, where I said everybody's praising it, but to be honest with you, I could not tell you what it sounds like. And it's like with Everything Ever All at Once, it's like I can tell you where the score was, but I can't quite tell you what it sounds like.
And shout out to that one person that marked out when Hurwitz got nominated for Babylon this morning. You use my people, friend. Use my people.
My theory in my video was that was Hurwitz.
Could have been. Then we go into sound. 5. Literally didn't miss a one. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Batman, Elvis, and Top Gun Maverick.
Did we all get that?
AJ, did you?
I did.
Ashley, did you?
Yeah. We all said the same thing.
Yes, and we live in a world where the Batman is a 3-time Oscar nominee. So no matter if it wins nothing, which it's got a chance, at the end of the day, it's still nominated. Take that, Marvel. Anyway.
Well, Black Panther outperformed it, but go ahead.
I don't acknowledge substandard cinema. Well, then we had a break. And the break was, if you were watching live, just a black screen. Didn't get any cool videos or anything, just a black screen. And for us, it was kind of like, well, let's talk over it. I don't know if AJ did because he got a chance to edit his video, so I have a feeling he probably just went right to the next set.
I just turned the camera off because I feel like the break last year went on forever. They like interviewed people and
Yeah.
did a bunch of shit. And it was like, no, we'll be back in like 2 minutes.
We'll write another book.
I mean, he certainly could.
Sure. I'm sure it's possible. Best adapted screenplay went next. So the lineup, All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, Living, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. I was 4 for 5 because I went with The Whale instead of Living. I thought Bill Nye would be the only nomination for it. I was proven wrong. More I thought about it, again, I wasn't surprised when it happened because it was always something that was looming on the horizon. Kind of like an After Sun nomination screenplay. But that didn't happen. But Living did. And Living is now officially coming to the theaters around here, so I'm debating if I want to see it or not. I guess we'll see.
The reason I was 4 out of 5 is because this is the second year in a row where my favorite movie of the year got into adapted screenplay, and I was convinced it wouldn't. I was convinced that Dune would not make it, and it did, and I was convinced that Top Gun wouldn't, and it did.
Oh.
I had the Whale in its place.
Yes, you did. So we both had The Whale, just missing out for different movies.
Yeah, The Whale has had such a confusing season.
Agreed. Ashley,
The only consistency was Fraser. Everything else is all over the damn place.
yeah, that's true. Ashley, what did you have in your fifth slot?
She said.
Yeah. Because I know you had Living, if I remember correctly.
I had Living, Glass Onion, and Women Talking. And I had The Whale and She Said.
Okay. So when I do this all the time, you actually did it. So let's go to original. The actual lineup: The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. So of course, instead of that, I went with Babylon. As I started seeing Babylon doing less and less well, I started to realize this was probably not going to happen. And when we got to screenplay, I was like, well, what's kicking it out?
Yeah, I feel like we all... The actual 5 nominees we have, I feel like we all had as the original screenplay lineup at one point.
100%. I remember running Triangle of Sadness doing so much better back in August and September. I remember having Woody Harrelson. I didn't have DeLeon. I had Harrelson, and that was it. I had Harrelson, I had the screenplay, and I had it running for picture. Director was never on my bingo card. Shouldn't be in this case either. We'll get there. So of course I missed on Babylon. AJ, what did you say for your fifth?
I said Decision to Leave.
Decision to Leave, yeah. Exactly.
I feel bad. I feel like I jinxed the fuck out of it. I jinxed it so hard it missed international.
We'll get what did it get replaced by? We'll get there in a minute. The meme continues, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get there. Don't worry. Ashley, what did you have for original?
Menu.
Oh, that's right. We all marked out for your answer.
That would have been amazing.
I'm
gonna fantasize about that having happened.
We all had the same 4, and we just missed on Triangle of Sadness. So we just had 3 different.
That's usually what happens.
3 different number 5s.
Speaking of missing for no reason, let's get into cinematography and AJ suffering. All Quiet on the Western Front. Bardo! It returns. Not where I was expecting it to. Elvis, Empire of Light, and Tar. What's missing here? Well, I would say Babylon's missing, but I'm sure some people would disagree with me. But I think everyone on the panel would agree with Banshees of Inisherin and Top Gun Maverick are missing from this list.
Yeah, I'd honestly throw Batman in there too.
Yeah, totally.
I really thought Banshees would pull this out. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I know, but I don't know what the fuck Empire of Light is doing here.
The only good thing about the movie is what it looked like. That was it. And I said here, and I was trying to give it a little pick me up after I beat the living daylights out of it over here verbally.
Ashley, have you been able to see Bardo yet?
Nope.
Bardo is fucking insane. And we're talking Inarritu standards already. Jesus Christ. This I think I can't describe it. It's like it's supposed to be like sort of dreamlike in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like funnily enough, it kind of reminds me of the scenes in Tar, where the dream sequences just kind of happen. You don't really have the moment that assures you it was a dream scene by having her wake up, except for like those one or two moments.
Mm-hmm.
But like in Tar, we're under the impression like the screaming in the woods and the metronome are just dream sequences, right?
Sure.
But instead of like establishing them as dream sequences, they just happen. That's Bardo pretty much in its entirety, about 50 times upping the crazy factor.
Goodness.
It's insane. And I really appreciate it. Like, it's not a great movie to me, but I respect the shit out of it for being as insane as it is.
Sure.
So I don't begrudge it being here, and I certainly don't begrudge Tar getting here. I remember thinking Tar had an outside chance. But God, at the expense of what we lost, that's
wrong.
It hurts. Yeah, and I've been talking up how bitter I am about the Top Gun snub here. The Banshees one's really been setting into.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Banshees had a lot of precursor love here. Not a lot, but it still just seemed like almost a given. I don't know.
That I got 2 out of 5. AJ, what'd you get?
I had. Fuck, what got in again? I had. Is All Quiet on the Western Front here?
Quiet, Bardo, Elvis, Empire, Tar.
Yeah, I got All Quiet, Bardo, and Empire of Light. I had Top Gun and Banshees, where I missed.
Okay, Ashley.
I just had All Quiet and Empire of Light. Missed on Avatar, Fablemans, and Top Gun Maverick.
Also worth noting, this is the second year in a row this category's pissed me off, because I was pretty outraged last year when Belfast didn't get here.
Mm-hmm.
That's still baffling.
All right. Josie says Strictly Ballroom needs a Blu-ray release.
I'm a little surprised it doesn't already.
Same. This category sucked. For me, at least. Documentary feature, All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, A House Made of Splinters, and Navalny. Well, I got one of these. Descendant, The the two music documentaries. I should have listened to AJ, Hallelujah and Moon Age Daydream, and The Territorial Mist.
Hallelujah is fantastic. It's also watching Hallelujah is also the first time I've seen Leonard Cohen in his own voice acknowledge Shrek's existence, and that was surreal.
Great. Amazing on the same tone. What did you have for documentary feature?
I had 3 out of 5. I had All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, and A House Made of Splinters, which I just pulled out of my ass.
Sure.
The ones that I had, Last Flight Home and The Territory, where the other 2 are. I told you about Last Flight Home.
Yes, you did.
That is heavy shit, and I can't imagine being a filmmaker and making that movie and getting snubbed. I'm not sure how that would feel.
I feel there's a liquid going to somebody's house right now, and they don't realize what it is.
Oh God.
Real quick, Ashley, what did you have for your documentary feature?
I have both the Oars and Navalny, missing out on Descendant and Territory.
Okay. Documentary short. Yeah, I sucked on this too. The Elephant Whisperer, Haul Out, How Do You Measure a Year, The Martha Mitchell Effect, and Stranger at the Gate. I went with the only one that I made sense to me was the one that was connected to a line from Rent. So that's the only one I got. So I had As Far as They Can Run, Holding Moses, Nuisance Bear, and 38 at the Garden. They went against basketball. That blows my mind. And it sucks because now I can't watch that movie in the nice warm theater.
Well,
Why?
It did feel a tad redundant because, and do you know what 38 at the Garden is?
If it's basketball related, it's going to be fun.
It's about Jeremy Lin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as in the guy that already has a feature-length documentary from like 10 years ago.
He does, yes. Okay, that's a little redundant. I get it. AJ, what did you have for documentary short?
I had 3 out of 5. I got The Elephant Whisperer's, Haul Out, and The Martha Mitchell Effect. I had Shut Up in Pain and 38 at the Garden instead of the others. If I had seen these, all the ones we mentioned, all the ones you said, all the ones I said, the one that got in, How Do You Measure a Year, is the only one that we've talked about that I didn't see. If I had seen Stranger at the Gate before we predicted, I definitely would have said it, I'm sure. So that was a fuck up on my part.
Ashley, what do you got for documentary short?
I missed 38 at the Garden, Angola, Do You Hear Us, Voices from a Plantation Prison, As Far as They Can Run, Holding Moses, and Nuisance Bear.
Well, I was going to go with this theory this year, which I did, and I guess we can continue. They do not want to nominate the Paramount Plus documentary shorts. Apparently, they just don't want to do that. Because I don't think they did any of them last year, and they didn't do any of them this year.
Interesting.
In case you didn't catch on from, my exuberant delivery of my lines, considering, I've basically just turned the video off of us talking, considering how it seems like even our audio is 20 minutes behind. So I'm going to have to make the stream go to 20 minutes longer than intended, so when I actually watch it on the tablet, I know when it's ending. But yeah, I had 0 for 5 in documentary short.
Good Lord.
The only 0, I think, out of all of us for the list.
So we're still live, but we're not. We're just voices now.
Yeah, I put the lizard on because I feel like we're all living in a lizard world right now. The lizard.
Yeah, so when we're done, you're just gonna mute us for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job editing that one. I wish you luck.
No. I should have been recording this. But then that would have been extra stupidness on my CPU on top of it, so I don't want to restart the computer again because we're in the middle of the flow and everything, but
almost done too. Okay. So Top Hat chimes in with EO and Banshees. We'll get there. Don't worry. It's the year of the donkey. We'll get there. Don't worry. Top Hat also says the Academy loved Jobu Tupaki's outfits.
Yeah, all of Shu's costumes, I guarantee, are what got it that nomination easily.
Josie also says it would be interesting if Chazelle adapted Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. White. And we are moving on.
I do wonder if he's capable of a calm movie. I guess First Man would be the closest thing, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, international feature film. Germany's All Quiet on the Western Front. Argentina in 1985. Belgium for Close. Poland for Eric O. The joke is back and it's not going anywhere. And The Quiet Girl from Ireland. I went with Bardo. That was proven wrong to a different category. And from Mexico and South Korea's Decision to Leave, which was proven wrong for 2 different categories. AJ, what'd you have for international feature?
I got 2.
Ooh.
I had All Quiet and I had Close. My wrong ones were Decision to Leave, Joyland, and Return to Seoul. I said there were so many big hitters in this category. We were going to have snubs regardless.
Sure.
Yeah, I do. I did see The Quiet Girl recently, which I do also really like. I was really surprised by how simple it is.
Really?
Yeah, like it's. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's like it literally just feels like an observational kind of thing than anything that's like too overcomplicated, like narratively. It's just pretty much straightforward, exactly what it is, yet somehow manages to be like really powerful.
Nice.
Also quite relatable because I was also the kid that like I was the quiet kid. It's surprisingly relatable.
Sure. And once Ashley sits down, we can find out what his international feature lineup was.
I missed on Austria's Corsage and South Korea's Decision to Leave.
Okay.
I did go with Argentina, Belgium, and Germany though.
Okay.
Mainly because I didn't think it was going to be that European.
Music would be next for original song. Applause. Tell It Like a Woman. Never Doubt Diane Warren. Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, so Gaga's on the stage. Lift Me Up from Wakanda Forever, so that means Rihanna's on the stage. Great. Natu from RRR, and proving once more that they want to give this movie everything. This Is a Life gets in.
Well, I was praising earlier that David Byrne got nominated today, and that's the reason.
That's the
Don't care. Unless I see David Byrne on the stage, I don't care.
I mean, should he? I don't remember what the song sounds like, but I would assume he is vocal in it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is a little bit of him along with Mitski doing the singing.
At any rate,
So
I went 3 out of 5 with this one. I ran Stand Up from Till instead because I felt Till needed nominated for something. Academy did not agree with me. We'll get there. And at the end of the day, AJ cut this promo about how Pinocchio had a better song. Well, instead of nominating the song that was substandard that's in the season right now, don't nominate it at all.
I'd like to think my son would have been a front runner if it was chosen.
Probably.
Daypla gets nothing. Daypla gets nothing at all.
Nope. AJ, what did you miss on for original song?
I got applause, hold my hand, and Natu Natu. I had Ciao Papa and Good Afternoon instead of the
Oh,
other.
yeah, Spirited Song. That's right.
But I still figured that there were going to be snubs galore, like Flip and LCD Sound System. Sadly, but
yeah,
I'm curious to hear applause because number one, Tell Like a Woman seems like a movie that doesn't exist. It's it doesn't have a Wikipedia page or anything.
hey.
And it's like obviously her songs are great, but it does almost feel like the Diane Warren thing is just a running joke at this point, right?
All apologies to Matt Damon, basically. I will say right now that I can't say anything. It got Reba McEntire on the Oscar stage, so I have no problems with this.
I remember. I think I was literally watching the credits roll on Four Good Days, and I was on the phone with you, going, "Do you know who performs this song?"
And then we had the conversation. Because for those of you that are not in the know, back when I was a kid, I performed Reba McEntire on the stage. Now you can like Photoshop these things and create them in your own little ways, but no. I don't have video footage because that wasn't allowed, but I do have pictures. And Reba was somebody that I can't say I was a friend of, but somebody that I kept in contact with over the years as I was growing up. They always send me a Christmas card. And I don't mean like a fan club Christmas card. I mean like a real Christmas card. And my mom still has them in a box at home to this day.
I thought that I love the celebrity anecdotes that are coming in. We have this one. We have the Jenny Slate one. Who did we have recently who like has a relative that was Giancarlo Esposito's roommate? It's like we need to get all of these people together.
I need to fight for no reason. Again, thank you everyone for putting up with the issues we've had tonight. If you're here live, if you're in archive, we've had some problems tonight. So that's the reason why you're seeing the picture you're seeing in front of your eyes instead of seeing my face.
Yeah, so what are they looking at right now?
The lizard is massive.
Yep.
From last year's thing. I think the thing that has to happen now is I need to get an actual graphic of Jenny the donkey along with Donkey with headphones and the EO donkey, and it's just like a donkey sort of Usual Suspect style lineup or something.
They all need to have little thought bubbles, and the donkey at the end needs to say, Eric, oh. Production design. 5 for 5, baby! All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Babylon, Elvis, and the Fableman.
I got close. I said Black Panther instead of the Fablemans.
Ashley, what did you say?
I missed Elvis with Everything Everywhere.
Oh. Wow, this was a time that I actually could say that...
Sorry, no. I did say Elvis. I missed with All Quiet on the Western Front. I misread my
okay. That's fair. Visual effects. All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Batman, Top Gun Maverick, and Wakanda Forever. I went with a swing on Nope, trying to give it a nomination.
Nope should have been here.
Nope should be here.
Thank Christ I was wrong.
Yeah.
Because I said Nope, and then I said Jurassic World.
Yep.
I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but I was predicting it for some reason. But I'm very glad to miss that point. So
as usual, they just went blockbusters and a war film.
Ashley, what did you go with? Do you have 4 out of 5 as well? You had all 5?
I had all correct for a change.
Then we move on to Best Actor. Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nye for Living. I Yeah, AJ has been calling Bill. Take a shot. Ashley's been calling Bill Nye since pretty much day one.
Yep.
I don't believe I ever took him out either. I think I've had him since August as well.
I think you both did.
I'm curious to go back to see which ones we had that we never took out from August to now.
It's interesting. And think about that. One of the ones I didn't take out was Tom Cruise. They love Maverick, but they didn't love Maverick. But they love Maverick, but they didn't love Maverick. And they didn't love it enough to give Cruise a nomination. Lots of people
He did. Cruise did get nominated today, just not for actor.
That is correct. 100%. But think about it this way. There's a lot of people that could have been an actor. Like there was a lot of people trying to push various people into this category that just weren't going to end up here. But yeah, at the end of the day, this seemed like the most logical 5, especially as everything was unfolding as we were ending the actual nomination stream. Even though After Sun didn't do anything further, I felt, and I think I even said it on the video, which might be available now. I don't know. If not, it will be soon. Don't worry. You'll have it before 9, hopefully. When no one cares. I will say right now that I think I said it in order because I was like, yeah, it's Butler. Well, Cruise miss. Now we go to Farrell and Fraser. Then we go to Mescal, and then Bill Nye's the last one. And I was like, yep, that's exactly what we went with. And AJ, what was your lineup? Did you have a 5 for 5?
Yes, I did.
And AJ, Ashley, I'm sure you had 5 for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me and AJ matched on that.
I know none of us had 5 out of 5 on this one. Best actress. So AJ mentioned earlier today, and I brought up on the Popcast that something was brought up in our chat. So it was like a telephone game, basically. We got told something, and then I was like, okay, let's bring it up in chat, because obviously I try to like hit everything in chat within reason. And then we comment on what's happening. Well, there was this Ground Roots campaign where a couple of extremely influential actors and actresses, a plethora of extremely influential actors and actresses.
Yeah.
I'd seen it.
I got a list if you wanted to know them more.
No, because I don't want to know who I have to go to get rid of the fact that somebody missed here that shouldn't have.
The great thing is there's somebody in there in one of your favorite films of the year.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me a bit. Hey, so basically what ended up happening is they saw this random film called To Leslie, and the performance of Andrea Riseborough was so moving and so impactful that they basically did a non-existent petition to get her into the Best Actress lineup. Well, they succeeded. And we move on. Best Actress, Cate Blanchett for Tar. Ana de Armas for Blonde, another thing that shouldn't have happened. The aforementioned Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie. Michelle Williams for The Fabelmans, which I'm happy about because we were so many people trying to get me to believe it was going to miss. And that scared me a lot, especially when Riseborough got in. I was like, who's not getting in because of her? Is Michelle Williams going to miss? No, she got in. And of course, Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. No, what they did was they got rid of 2 of the best performances of the year by people of color that is probably going to cause a big storm in the next several days, because I know how social media works. And I'll say this right now, and I have no problems in saying this on here, on camera, everyone can read this. Danielle Deadwyler is the best actress performance of the year, and she doesn't get in this lineup is bullcrap. 100%. Viola Davis missing here is bullcrap. 100%. And I'm not going to watch Blonde. There's no way. And I don't have a reason to watch To Leslie. Probably have no way to anyway, because there's probably no theatrical run for it. But at the end of the day, the Woman King blanks completely, which is ridiculous in its own right. And so does Till. And I'm left wondering why.
Well,
And you'll see on the video when it finally comes up that that's one of the only things that got a reaction out of me. Because that was the only time that I was legitimately surprised enough to react.
we can blame
And not
Paltrow and Norton and Courtney Cox and Susan Sarandon and Charlize Theron and Jennifer Aniston and Kate Winslet and Mark Ruffalo and Sarah Paulson and Amy Adams, among others.
Hey, not everybody agrees with movies, obviously. We have that conversation all the time. They might be wrong. Who knows? I'll never know. AJ,
I do feel like I have to explain something. When I did the reaction video,
right?
when Day Armas's name came up, I was so thrown off that Davis wasn't the next one because I was convinced of how wrong I was, supposedly.
Sure.
And that the lineup was just going to be the SAG lineup.
Mhm.
And my confusion for Davis was still going on when Riseborough happened. So with that 1-2 punch happening, I didn't even realize Deadweiler missed until I turned the camera off. It was after the fact I even realized, when I was the one that was saying, I felt like she was third. I felt like the competition was Blanchett and Yo up here, and Deadweiler would have been next.
That's how it should have been.
So, yeah, and with all that confusion also going on, I was shocked to look and realize that I still got 4 out of 5 on this category because I made the choice that I thought was insane at the time of going with Day Armas and Williams. So my only miss was I had Deadweiler instead of Riseborough.
Ashley, what did you have for your actress lineup?
I just had the obvious 2 of Blanchett and Yo. My other 3 were Davis, Deadweiler, and Robbie. Because I wasn't going to say Blonde on principle. It may be a good performance, but it might be another case where, I don't think so just because of the momentum that Blanchett and Yo have. But we could be in a case that a film has a Razzie and an Oscar within 24 hours. I don't think it will because, of course, I think that's Blonde's only nomination. It completely missed all the text.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere else. I shake my head. We go to chat. Top Hat says, it's kind of funny how 3 films got nominated for makeup, essentially the same character, Batman, Elvis, Whale. Okay. Best Director. Martin McDonagh for Banshees of Inisherin. Thank you, God. Daniels, whatever. Steven Spielberg for The Fabelmans. Oh, yeah. Todd Field for Tar. I'm okay with it now. And is it Östlund?
Ostland, I think it is.
I thought Östlund sounds too obvious. It sounds too American.
Yeah, I think it might just be how it looks.
Ruben Östlund for Triangle of Sadness. Me and AJ both went with Edward Berger. We all knew it was going to be an international director for that 5th slot. We just went the wrong international director. We went now instead of beforehand.
I feel weird because I was starting to go all in on All Quiet on the Western Front before shortlists and guilds were showing us that it was doing well.
Sure. Yes, you were.
And the thing I was really betting on this was it all began from who's the international director.
Sure.
And once I landed on Berger, that was my starting point to go all in on All Quiet on the Western Front. So the fact that All Quiet on the Western Front still did what it did without Berger in director is really weird to me. I'm still trying to process that that's what happened.
I mean, if Elvis would have got a couple more nods, I feel like Lerman would have been an option here. That's the criteria as well.
Yeah. Yeah, because Austin's still technically international, even though I'm pretty sure that the movie is in English, isn't it? At least mostly.
Yeah, mostly in English. So yeah, of course, Ashley, what did you go with for your fifth slot?
I had Charlotte for Aftersun.
Ah, that's right. And I saw the screenplay, and I saw director, and I was thinking, I feel it's going to happen now. But what's it replacing? And then a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, oh no. This is what's going to kick Glass Onion out of the spot. And that's exactly what it freaking did. Best Picture, All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, Top Gun Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and after everything, probably one of the most yo-yo seasons that a movie has had in recent memory, the 10th slot goes to Women Talking. So I got 8. I missed out. I said Glass Onion and Babylon. AJ?
Well, we know what the fuck happened with me and Elvis.
You're not wrong.
That was not supposed to be what happened.
No, of course not.
Yeah, if I had realized I literally just forgot Elvis would have been in Glass Onion's place.
Yeah, for sure.
So even if I did make that change, I still would have missed. I would have had The Whale in, and I would have had Babylon in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking. I couldn't tell if we were getting a technical update from Ashley. He looks like he can hear the Jumanji drums.
No, I was checking to see how far we are behind, and it might even be an hour now. We're talking about screenplay on the feed.
Feed I've got right now says, don't know where we're at, but I'll say got a perfect for costume design, visual effects, actor for the second year in a row, worst cinematography getting 1 out of 5. Quaron is nominated for live action short. That's all Brian. Top Hat says congrats on Electro's theme getting nominated in All Quiet. I'm joking. I actually really like it.
Oh my god, it does sound like that.
I'll find out when Netflix wants to throw me a bone, because everything goes way hard when she's remembering life with Waymond.
Yeah.
So, segue. So the Best Picture marathon got announced for AMC. And AMC don't mess with Netflix. So, All Quiet on the Western Front still eludes me. However,
Oh, fuck. I was just getting ready to say I would really envy you if you got to see All Quiet on the Western Front in a theater.
I'm going to.
Oh god damn.
Cinemark will help me with that. Both Regal and AMC, and Cinemark for that matter, announced re-releases of everything else, which means I'm getting a showing of Everything Everywhere All at Once this weekend. I'm going to give it one more chance, like I did with Tar. I somewhat liked Tar the second time I watched it, but I didn't despise Tar in the way that I despise this movie. I need to find a way to watch it where I'm the only one in the theater because watching it with people did not help.
I said that I've teased throughout this season that I could write essays on Quan and Shu's performances. Do you need me to do that before you go?
Not wasting my time.
Because, like I said, I gave you a crash course on Tar. That seemed to help.
No, I'm gonna give this one the good old college try. I'm gonna have my foot. You know how you want to know how I got through Tar? So there is a special edition Mellow Yellow Zero that exists right now that tastes identical to Pingo Doce at Avengers Campus at Disney California Adventure. They're not gonna say that's what it is because that's exactly what it is. Bag of Reese's Pieces, and that's how I got through Tar.
Was that setup supposed to sound like Ledger's Joker? Do you want to know how I got through Tar?
I got through Tar.
Yeah, his fellow Australians in it. That's how he got through it.
You want to know how I got through everything everywhere all at once? I didn't, and my ghost is talking to you right now. But I get to team it with Infinity Pool, so that should be interesting.
Oh God, that's gonna be trippy. You're not gonna be okay after that.
That's why I feel like I'm watching something pleasant afterwards. Might be a triple threat.
How much time is there in between? I hope there's a break, because you might genuinely lose your mind.
Between a movie I hate and a movie that's gonna mess with me that bad, I might just have to watch something just like to cleanse the palate. We'll find out. I'll figure it out later. So that might be the show. Well, the live version of the show. Those that are still here. You got a while. But I want to look at this.
I don't know how we're going to respond to those comments. I guess
I don't have comments. I'm finished. So I want to play this little game real quick. Not really a game, but I was talking about the prediction game of what I went with and what actually made it. I was one off on Banshees. It went 9, and I predicted 8. I missed one off on the Fablemans. It got 7 instead of 8. Everything got double digits. I went 9. Wakanda overperformed with 5. I went with 2. The Whale got 1 less than I thought it was going to. Pinocchio got 2 less than I thought it was going to. Babylon had 6 less than I thought it was going to. Elvis got 1 more than I thought it would, so that's good. Love that. All Quiet on the Western Front got 2 less than I thought it would. Batman got as many as I thought it would. Top Gun missed 2 less than I thought it would. Tar got 2 more than I thought it would. Thought that was interesting and intriguing to me. So, Brian says, so we've got Blindside, A Serious Man, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Selma, The Post, and now Women Talking.
Is that stuff that got 1 nomination and then picture?
Maybe. Yeah, that has to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad movies on that list, Brian.
Was there?
Oh, I hate The Blind Side. I like A Serious Man. Elec is divisive, so you either like it or you don't.
I never minded it, but I haven't watched it since that season, I don't think.
No, it's one of the finer ones. Selma I didn't like.
Yeah.
I was indifferent to The Post, and I'm indifferent to Women Talking.
Selma's a great story. Just DuVernay directed it like Lee Daniels doing a TV movie, and it didn't.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
Top Hat says this year's break was a solid 2 minutes. Talking about the black screen in between for the nomination morning. I guess we're done.
Yeah.
And he who is in charge of the OBS.
Yeah. I've got to wait here for an hour, maybe.
Is that just up on everything?
So I feel like I didn't say as much as I wanted to. I was kind of holding back because I didn't want to go all in if we couldn't be heard. So I don't know.
So Ashley, how's this going to work exactly for the people that are listening on archive?
I don't want to shut the thing off, because then if it is outputting stuff, it's just taking forever to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to cut it off just in case it sort of balks it, because as long as it sort of is committed to archive, it should be good. So basically, I'll mute everything on OBS and then wait until I maybe say some keyword that I've got to try and come up with. And then when I hear that on the feed from my tablet, then I can, oh right, now I can end stream on YouTube.
Right, so I guess now is when we do our typical wrap up, right?
Yeah, I've got a few little bits of the other trivia, even though it's probably getting brought up in chat too late and whatever. I'll be able to see chat with people responding to everything, which is annoying. So getting Eric Anderson's notes, another Eric, but not of the O variety. Where is it?
He wouldn't be ever able to join us doing this.
Spielberg ties William Wyler's record as the director of most films nominated for Best Picture at 13. All Quiet on the Western Front's the first nominee to be spoken almost entirely in German, and also the 5th year in a row that a international film has gotten Best Picture. The first time since 82 with E.T. and Tootsie that the 2 highest grossing films of the year were also nominated for Best Picture. Woman Talking is the first Best Picture nominee to earn only a SAG cast nomination with no other individual nominations and no PGA. To be fair, we don't know whether it's getting a WGA, so I don't know whether that would count.
Yeah.
We find that out tomorrow. Although WGA. If you're watching this stream, it will already be 2084. Blanchett's now appeared in 10 Best Picture nominees, tying with DiCaprio and just behind De Niro. I believe I saw as well that Hanks is the same.
Makes sense.
I think. Even that scrolling has taken a while. Yeah, Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan, Apollo 13, Green Mile, Toy Story 3, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Captain Phillips, Bridge of Spies, Post, and Elvis. So he and Blanchett are at the same level. And Dee Dee Gardner, producer on Woman Talking, is the second most nominated woman with 7 nods, with Kathleen Kennedy on 8. In the director stuff, Spielberg ties Scorsese for the second most Best Director nods, and is the first director to be nominated in 6 different decades, following on from John Williams a couple of years back being the first nominee of any sort in 6 different decades. Daniel Kwan is just the third Asian American director to be nominated after Lee Isaac Chung and Terrence Malick, and the fourth year in a row that an Asian director has been nominated after Director Bong, Chloe Zhao, as well as Lee Isaac Chung and Hamaguchi from last year. For the first time in 88 years since 1934, every single person in Best Actor is a first-time nominee.
Yeah, I think it's 16 out of the 20 are first timers.
Yeah, it's a pretty good list in that respect. Michelle Yeoh is the first openly East Asian actress ever nominated in the category. Merle Oberon's performance from 1935's Dark Angel. She was born in India and of Eurasian descent, but had to hide her heritage because of racism in the early days. With her fifth nomination, Michelle Williams is the most nominated actor born in the 80s. Ana de Armas is the fifth Latina nominated in Best Actress in history. One little thing that I saw with regards to Barry Keoghan, he's been through God knows how many foster homes, and apparently his first acting job was basically seeing an advert on like a job board at a post office, and at the age of 30, finally he's got an Oscar nomination. We talked about Judd Hirsch. There is, nearly a record. 8 minutes and 3 seconds, the least amount of screen time for a nominee since John Lithgow for Terms of Endearment from 40 years ago. Angela Bassett's only the fourth black actress to get multiple Oscar nominations, joining Goldberg, Davis, and Spencer. Jamie Lee Curtis joins Laura Dern and Liza Minnelli as the only actors to be Oscar nominated after both of their parents were. Inside of that, Curtis now holds the record of the gap between those happening at 60 years. In original screenplay, Östlund is only the second Swedish writer nominated after Bergman. Cinematography, Mandy's only the third woman to be Oscar nominated for cinematography. Best Director and Best Original Screenplay match up 5 for 5 with all directing nominees penning the screenplays, which is a first time, I believe, as well. Cuarón has been nominated in 7 different Oscar categories now, so he's tying with Branagh. Also, with that Bardo cinematography nomination, every single one of Inarritu's films has been Oscar nominated. So the streak continues, I guess. Also, the most Asian acting nominees in a single year, and 14 nominations for Ireland. Especially 9 for Banshees, which is a record in itself. Del Toro is the first director with movies nominated for Best Picture, Best Animated Picture, and Best Foreign Picture. Ana de Armas' nomination is the first time in nearly 50 years that an NC-17 rated movie's got an acting nod. The last, obviously, being Brando's Last Tango in Paris. Second year in a row that a remake of a Best Picture winner nominated in the same category. Also, Cate Blanchett's with Lydia Tarr. It's her 5th nomination of being the title character of the film, following the 2 Elizabeths, Blue Jasmine and Carol.
Very true.
Also, Glass Onion copies Knives Out in that its only nomination is screenplay.
Yeah.
And then we have 4 sole nominees in the acting lineup after last year's barren one with Stuart Spencer. This time we've got Mescal's Aftersun, Armas for Blonde, Riseborough for To Leslie, and Tyree Henry for Causeway. And also the Best Picture lineup is the second highest grossing of all time, with the 10 nominees accumulating roughly $4 billion. The problem being that
Yeah, most
two
of that
of
being
them is
Avatar.
about 3.5 billion. But those are the notes that I have. One thing I did want to bring up, because I didn't properly bring it up in the live chat. Top Pat, I don't know whether is even in, as this thing's on a delay of 15 years. Brought up the Deb Weiler miss and the old line of they Judi Dench Judd Hirsch.
Yeah. In more ways than one.
Yeah.
You're going by the Belfast comparison too.
Oh no, they pulled a Judi Dench was Murphy Boy actually.
Oh, nice.
Top Hat said I took Hirsch off my predictions last second. Now I'm kicking myself. AJ knew his stuff. Various other things. In terms of the actual overall predictions, we haven't even got to that. So I added them up because I'm an idiot. As you expect.
Before we go on,
go ahead.
You know what's blowing my mind right now? We've had all these technical difficulties tonight, and Ashley's microphone has never gone out.
That's great.
Is that why? Does that explain it? I don't know.
Good.
I'm definitely gonna sort something out in the settings if I can even flip and do that. I can't do it until it stops streaming, but I can't do that until I press the button. So
yeah, the last comment I have in chat at this moment for me was like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try.
So yeah, I had 79. Owen, you had 82, and AJ had 86. I sort of expect, as soon as I had one category where I had 0 correct, I was like, yeah, this isn't my year. If you get a goose egg like that, like, oof. So yeah, do you want to do the outro, even though it will take some period of undeterminate period of time to get there?
It's fine. So, lots of content coming on the network in the near future. Stay tuned. More information. We'll get there. Don't worry. We're getting caught up. I 100% will be caught up in February one way or another. I'll make sure of it.
It's going to be a little difficult to get caught up because as soon as this video ends, as Vincent Hanna said in Heat, I'm going to go sleep for a month. And then
I'm going to eat Munchos and peanut butter M&Ms and watch YouTube videos. And then I got to work in the morning. Then go to McDonald's and then watch AEW. That's my plan. That's what's going to happen. Ashley, snack stashes are coming once I finally get everything caught up. At Ash is my name UK is how you find him on Twitter. AJ, of course, cannot be found on social media, just like Keith Richards cannot be killed by conventional weapons. You can leave him a comment if you'd like on any of these videos. If you have any ideas for verses and the other regular segments on the network that he does put out, shoot him my way. I'll shoot him his way, and we'll see what he thinks of them. We got TV reviews, movie reviews. They're forthcoming, so stay tuned. No real time frame. They're coming. Don't worry. And we'll be caught up in February, one way or another. Like I said before, Voice of Liberty content and sip and snack content aside, if that's what it takes. Don't really care. That's fine. We'll be caught up, and then I won't have to worry about it. You guys are going to hate me on Twitter for a while because I'll do the in case you missed it thing and post. So every video gets a little bit of FaceTime. But don't worry. We'll be caught up, and then we won't have to worry about it anymore. We've got Pop the Questions coming up. We've got Popcast Movie Club coming up. We've got predictions for the guilds coming up. We have BAFTA predictions coming up. Spirit Award predictions coming up. And of course, all those are tied in with a nice little tidy recap show after each of the televised award shows are over. So the only one we, of course, televised when it comes to guilds is SAG. And then, of course, we get to Oscar Sunday, and then we'll do one last recap show, and then we're done with the season, and we'll see you guys and girls in August for more awards coverage. But for those of you that stick around, we've got Movie Club that's ongoing. And then we've got Pop the Question that's ongoing. May 1st is our anniversary, 10 years on this channel. So that's going to be coming your way. If it's been covered in a podcast or video on this channel, it's fair game. We're going to tell some anecdotes. We're going to find out a little bit more about our chat, find a little more about ourselves within reason. And of course, unprecedented, you guys get to pick the movie that we're doing for Movie Club. So it should be fun. We'll select from your list, and we'll pick the one we like best, and that's going to be what we're going to do. So that's coming your way. Oh, also, if you want, at Sir Owen Disney on Twitter. That's your show. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Despite all of the problems we had technically, there's a lot of fun stuff we had tonight with the live chat when we were able to interact with them. Don't worry. We'll see. Ashley, you'll be able to try to keep up on the chat if you can and like hold those questions for later. Maybe. So they don't get... Oh, we lost them. Finally. Ashley, Mike. Are you going to be able to copy over the chat that's part of this? Just nod. Because you have no voice. You have no voice. No voice. I'm going to start singing SeaWorld music in about 2 seconds. So, hey, na na na, hey, na na na, hey. I might get a copyright strike. Music no one knows, so it's fine. So, can you do that, or at least try to, if you can, like keep track of those?
I have deleted all my notes from the Oscars chat logs and whatever, and that will basically become other comments, which will bring up at some point stuff that we missed.
All right. So, as always, thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Dream F about it. Get it higher on the list. Real Super Dark, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're really getting it, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot wait. Water Parks fans unite. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. One more time. Cannot wait for the match on AEW tomorrow night. And in the meantime, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Until next time, boys and girls. Hey, we'll see you in February. That's all we got to say about that.
Cranberry sauce. Cranberry sauce.